But I think that just, I don't know, Buffalo's just riding the wave right now based off emotions, Lamar Hamlin. So I think they got this. I don't see
We're going to get into that.
Let's jump right in. Yeah, what's up, Kev Mike, Ray Bones? It's the Hook. It's Tuesday night. How we doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man.
Doing well. Starting me and you, Smitty. Hopefully, will join us, so we'll be followed a little bit later on by my man Jay Pick. He's going to break down a little MMA action. A lot of fights going on this weekend, Bellator and UFC. But first, some quick news out of the NFL. Sean Payton has found a home mile high in Denver. It looks like they gave up a first round. They will send first rounders, 2023 first round pick, 29th overall, and a 2024 second round selection to the Saints, with whom, he's still under the contract with the Saints till next year. So What do you think? Good move for the Broncos?
Great move for the Broncos. I've been saying this to multiple people today, Ray. I don't understand why he made this move. When you look at the situations that he could have put himself in as a coach, I'm just surprised they have no draft capital. They've got an aging quarterback that the team doesn't really care for, who's very expensive, might I add. Yep. I just think this is a puzzling move. Listen, I get it. It's great for the Broncos and their fans. I do think it's going to pay some dividends, but I just look at like the lack of draft capital and their roster where it stands right now, and I was actually surprised about this one. Really surprised. What's your take?
I mean, Russell Wilson, going into a situation, I feel like I want a guy that I can trust to lead the team, especially behind center. And Russell Wilson's he's been trash. He's been awful.
He had a bad year. Yeah, he had a bad year. We all saw it.
Another bad year.
Right.
Another bad year.
Right.
Geno Smith, that guy from West Virginia, right? Mountaineer.
Yeah, he was West Virginia.
West Virginia.
That guy led Florida kid.
That guy led the Seattle Seahawks this year to the playoffs. Not Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson went to Denver. We all thought, oh, hey, here come the Broncos. And guess what? That didn't happen.
I thought it.
Hey, maybe Sean Payton will be able to lead, coach, and show Russell Wilson how to get back on the track that he fell so far off.
Right.
My opinion.
Like I was saying, I think it's a puzzling move. There's new ownership there, which it is great for them. I again just see this as a puzzling move, and in the sense that if you're going to take a job like this, don't you want the ability to draft your own players, to be able to have like flexibility, change the roster if needed? I just don't see this happening. But it will be compelling to see how Russell Wilson plays under Sean Payton. Look, when Sean Payton was with the Saints, he had Jameis Winston on the right track. So he's a very good quarterback guy, very brilliant offensive mind. Very interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm not also sure. Also, it looks like 6 years for DeMeco Ryan in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
6-year deal. Oh, they just signed DeMeco Ryan. So I think the Broncos were actually really holding off on Sean Payton, by some of the reports that I've read. And the Broncos were really focused on grabbing DeMeco Ryans and bringing him over to Denver, but Houston got their guy.
See, I would have loved that, Ray. Like, I think DeMeco Ryans is a brilliant coach, and fully aware he's a defensive mind. Be interesting to see who he's going to have as his offensive coordinator. I think that'll be a big thing for him. Probably somebody with experience, maybe somebody that has coached in the past, because it's a different kind of feel when you're the head man. But listen, he was one of the smartest football players. Alabama, Roll Tide. He was a before Saban guy, but great player. I mean, just people raved that played with him. Brian Cushing called him the smartest football player he's ever been around, and just sang his praises. Tremendous. And it'll be interesting to see who he decides to go with. You got to think it's going to be a quarterback. So,
I mean, who do they have over there? They got Davis Mills, right?
Yeah, they're going to draft a quarterback.
So you're the guy that can break down pretty much college at any given point.
Sure.
And if you were D'Amico Ryans, I want to know who Kev Mike would say, you know what? This is my guy.
I would take CJ Stroud. And I always say this to people because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say he's an Ohio State quarterback.
You're right.
So was Joe Burrow for a couple years. Everybody has a quarterback. Everybody that says quarterbacks or players don't come from particular schools, they say this until it happens. Everybody said Oregon quarterbacks were garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said LSU quarterbacks were garbage. Remember that. And all of a sudden, they got Justin Herbert and they got Joe Burrow in the transfer in. So my point is when I do evaluations, I don't evaluate the helmet. I think that in the playoff, especially, you saw Stroud do some things that I hadn't seen on film, especially in that game that they lost. He was moving around. I just see him as the guy that I think that they would go with. I have tons of respect for Bryce Young. Obviously, his size and his durability is a question for me, makes me worry. But again, either or, they're both great kids and they're both great, great ambassadors of their universities. And I could see either one going, but I'll take Stroud with the size, what he showed in the playoff and really how he's led Ohio State the last couple of years.
Do you think this is a good class for quarterbacks?
So it's like top heavy, right? So you're talking about, obviously, we're talking about Young, we're talking about Stroud, we're talking about Levis at Kentucky. We're talking about McKee at Stanford, who's really a big kid, Ray. He's 6'6", 235 pounds, and doesn't move real well, in my opinion, on film. But one of those classic drop back passers, heck of an arm, good ball placement, and that's something you'll hear me when we start talking about the draft. Ball placement is such a key when you evaluate kids from college to the pros. I've only seen one guy that had subpar ball placement that improved that, and that was Justin Herbert.
Oh, Herbert. Okay.
Yeah, and so, but again, to answer your question, I can see Stroud going. I think he'll be D'Amico, but again, the Alabama connection, it's going to be interesting, real interesting. So, but in terms of like the quarterbacks, it's always a crapshoot, but those names right there, I think will interest people the most. I really do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, throwing some Alabama quarterbacks out there. Alabama, same thing, right? Another university never had a quarterback. Now they have three starters,
right?
This past year, and now one's playing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Now one's playing in the Super Bowl. Speaking of Super Bowl, fly Eagles fly. I was wrong last week. I was wrong about everything last week. I don't think I got the under. Did I get the under on one game? I did.
I think you did.
On the Philly game. I got the under. I took moneyline Niners, moneyline Bungles, and I took an over and an under, and I was 3 out of 4 losses. So going into this week, or talking about last week, unfortunate circumstances for the 49ers. Completely. Losing Brock Purdy. Huge blow.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at who came in the game and then he got hurt and then they were talking about going McCaffrey. I mean, it couldn't have been worse luck. And, against a good team like that, and Philly was, in my opinion, the most balanced team all year long. When you're on the road and you're going against that kind of a dog, very difficult, very difficult. I just, and they kind of hung around like a little bit, it was 21-7. McCaffrey had that great run. But they just couldn't keep up. I mean, they just couldn't keep up. So, real tough though. Like that, if I'm a 49er fan like that, I'm devastated.
Yeah. You're on your 4th string quarterback. You're about to throw Christian McCaffrey in the game to play quarterback. Hey, which helmet do you want me to put on, coach? What hat am I going to wear right now?
Right.
I mean, come on.
And I'm glad they decided not to go that route. But then when
I would have loved it.
When Purdy came back in the game, it was so obvious that he couldn't throw. And it came out that he has, he's going to be out 6 months. That was a major injury for those that question his toughness or, questioned, where his head was at. I mean, trust me, they wouldn't have had Josh Johnson in there. And it also speaks to another point where people think it just anybody can be inserted into this offense with Kyle Shanahan and these weapons and everything like that. And that's not the case. We saw Trey Lance struggle. We saw this, Johnson going in struggle. So don't take away, and not you, but just the listeners, don't take away from what Purdy's done.
Right.
But Ray, I see Tom Brady going to San Francisco. I really do.
The GOAT?
Yeah. He can win with that team, Ray. I'll tell you though, the issue with the 49ers, I think I said this last week on the show, the interior offensive line, we know about their tackles, the interior offensive line, and the Eagles just attacked right up the middle, Reddick and all those guys up the middle. And it definitely affected the game. But, there's not too much to add here. I mean, the Eagles, they took care of business. They're going to the Super Bowl. I think that the other game was more compelling, to be honest. And, but anything else to add on this one? I mean, it was pretty straightforward to me.
I mean, it was just a shit show. It was very unfortunate, like you said. It's horrible for the Niner fans.
Yeah,
it is what it is. What are you going to do now? Where do you go? Who do you grab? And honestly, I guess the only question that I would have, Kev, is, you mentioned Tom Brady, but why not give Purdy another shot next year?
Well, I'm sure they will, but you're talking about a guy that did play well. Now he's going to be on the shelf for 6 months. You got a team that needs to win now. Trent Williams isn't getting any younger. They were relatively healthy. Kittle's not getting any younger. I mean, I'm not saying these guys are like over the top. I'm not saying they're in big trouble. But I think the consensus over there will be, let's go grab us somebody that can manage the offense. And I think Tom Brady would have a good year there. They'd have to protect. They got to get somebody inside on that O-line in the draft. And I think that'd be a good fit. Not the Raiders. If Tom Brady's going to play again, it's got to be with a team that he can get to the Super Bowl. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him in Las Vegas. I just don't.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. Let the guy contend if he's going to play. He can still throw the ball. Liskey says he's not going west. So Tennessee wouldn't be a bad spot, but that's another situation where I think King Henry's kind of like he's on for him to keep putting up the numbers that he's putting up and the bruising that he's taken, I don't know if I want to go that way, but obviously he's got connections with Vrabel in Tennessee. So could it happen? Sure. I mean, I don't see why not, but that would not be my pick if I was to go.
So if Neil's correct, I think the best spot for him, if he doesn't want to leave the East, would be Miami.
Oh, I know Miami's ready though. I think Miami has the offense. They have the receivers. We know that.
Well, first of all, they got a good coach. That coach is really, really unbelievable. And he's from the Shanahan tree, Yale graduate. I mean, he's just a cool dude for like a nerdy guy,
He's wicked smart.
I can see him going to Miami and doing really well. He'd play the Patriots twice. He knows the division. I think you're right. I think a couple of minor moves. I think they'll be ready. So shout out to Neil for that comment.
Chris Savoy says, the nation doesn't want that bomb, and he's a Raiders fan. So you know what? I don't know what the Raider Nation's going to do now.
They're going to probably try to draft a quarterback.
Bring
Dallas,
in
huh? You see that comment? No,
I see that. Joe Peck. Joe Peck's going to come on and talk some hockey with us, hopefully soon. I think Dallas would be a great spot for him too. Actually, Tony Pollard, if he still stays, and then you have some good receivers. You got a decent receiving core, good tight end.
I don't think Tom Brady's going to go mix it up with Jerry Jones. I just can't see that happening. I just don't see that. Listen, maybe I'm wrong. I really hope he doesn't end his career with a star on his helmet, because
you're already a star, Tommy.
Yeah, it is what it is. But again, we talk about the draft and we talk about like the off season. How many compelling stories? I mean, there's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of issues. We're talking about Lamar Jackson too.
I was going to say Lamar. Yeah, where's he going to wind up?
Dak. I might be in the minority, but I think they can win with Dak. I just think that Jerry's inability, and I'm not trying to veer off too far here, but I just don't think Jerry's, the way he's run this operation, the guys he's decided to keep, the guys he's decided to get rid of, I just don't think he did Dak a big favor. I really don't. But another day with that one, another day.
So listen, we talked about the Niners. We didn't really talk too much about the Eagles here. So let's touch on the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles played a hell of a game against the banged up 49ers team, right? The 49er defense was on the field. Obviously makes the game a lot harder for 49ers.
Right.
Leading up to the 49ers game, though, they had the bye week, and then they played the Giants, who they completely dismantled.
And I was wrong about that. I'll admit that to you right now on the air. I just was completely wrong. But yeah, they played the Giants. They dominated.
So far through the playoffs, they've pretty much had, they're taking the yellow brick road right now, right to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
Right. And they're going to play a Kansas City team with a banged up Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of just seems like this year is the destiny for the Eagles is to win the Super Bowl.
Well, you could be right. I mean, when you look at they did luck out a little bit. I'd rather be lucky than good, but they really lucked out. They got their quarterback healthy. They had the number 1 seed. They got the bye. They played a Giants team that came off a big win the week before, and that was a physical game. That's pretty underrated because nobody's really mentioned that. It was a pretty physical game. Divisional opponent, third time they played them. You'd think that they would know what was coming. They just couldn't stop. And the thing that I liked the most was that Philly just lined up and pounded the ball. I mean, they literally, Brandon Graham told Lawrence, like, we're coming right at you. And they did. And then they go play the 49ers. They're home. And on the first series of the game, the quarterback gets hurt. So when you look at it that way, could they be a team of destiny? They absolutely could. I just think that team over there in Kansas City is they're really, really good. I mean, they're really, really good. I think Jones, the defensive tackle, is actually underrated because he's one of the best in the game. We never talk about him, and we should, because if you take him off that defense, what are they? I mean, what are they? He's a beast. And
Chris Jones.
But you may be right. I mean, this may be one of those years that things fall into place and guys got healthy at the right time. And we all know Philly, as I said, is balanced, but that offensive line, 3 Pro Bowlers, 1 All-Pro, the weapons they have. And then on the defensive side of the ball, secondary's played strong. I mean, dude, Riddick, the linebacker, what a crazy, amazing signing that was. Do you see his numbers? His numbers were insane. Counting the playoffs, Ray. He's got, I think it's like 19 sacks, 80 pressures. I mean, his tackles for loss are insane. And this is playoffs and regular season, but I'm telling you, like, his numbers are off the chart. And unless you really know the game, you're not really going to think of his name. You know what I mean? They got guys with 10 plus sacks on the defensive line. They got Fletcher Cox rotating in with, Lindell Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. So they've got that toughness. They're just a real tough team.
Veteran squad too.
Right.
I mean, you got some veterans on that team.
Yep.
Secondary, yikes. So, how about Travis Kelce this weekend? Can we talk about Travis Kelce?
I mean, he just let everybody pretty much. I felt like I was watching WWE.
This beautiful trophy. Huh?
I mean, come on.
Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
Yo, I love Travis Kelce. I love Travis Kelce. I love him more now than I ever have because you know what? He does not care. He doesn't care.
Bro,
Run that shit.
You can't tell me he wasn't on some crazy pain medicine with that back because he looked like he was partying on and off the field.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he definitely had to. But, I mean, even, I should have pulled up the Burrow interview as well, but maybe I will. But even the the Mahomes interview talking about it's Mahomes' house. A lot of bulletin board material went up for the Chiefs, and they definitely motivated them.
And then they responded. I mean, they really responded well. It's almost like we've forgotten about the Chiefs. Some people have. I haven't. I mean, I've had people tell me that Patrick Mahomes was never going to win again. And maybe he's going to lose in the Super Bowl.
Smitty, what up, brother? There he is.
Salutations.
Smitty,
what's going on?
I am so glad this dude is here. We're just so you know, we're just getting into, we're talking about Travis Kelce. We're talking about, the Chiefs and all the bulletin board material that they faced and how they responded. And, it's, I think this is going to be a heck of a game, but what are your thoughts? Any thoughts on on the game? The Bengals, Chiefs. What do you got?
Bengals, Chiefs. I'm guessing you're referring towards the end of the game.
Just overall.
Just overall, I thought it was a good game. It was a tough. I think that Andy Reid and the Chiefs is a tough place to play in. But at the same time, I thought Burrow was going to pull it off again, and Patrick Mahomes, and some might say the refs came in and assisted them a little bit. So I mean, but they're a tough team altogether. They play well. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game against the Eagles.
So, Smitty, let's just give you some praise real quick, right? Hopefully I don't have to do this too much this year, being you take, your New York side. But you said, oh no, you said the Niners. You did say the Niners.
I did say the Niners, but at no time at
City.
Yeah, but at no time did I think Purdy was going to go down like that.
Right, right. That's fair.
And you can't call it. You can't call it.
Yeah, that was bad luck.
You know how many prop bets were lost after that happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I lost all my San Francisco prop bets went down the shitter after that point. At that point,
I took the Eagles. I took the Eagles. I just had faith that they'd win at home. I had no clue that. I mean, dude, if anybody says they knew this was going to be the way it is, nobody had any clue. Nobody.
Yeah.
So, and as Smitty said, and I mentioned earlier before he jumped on, in Ray, you pointed it out. Team on a destiny, team on a mission, whatever you want to call it, and they had some luck. I mean, they really did. They got their quarterback healthy at the end of the season, still got the number 1 seed, play the Giants off a physical game, beat them up at home, play really well, and then get a little bit lucky in the championship game. So sometimes that happens. I'd rather be lucky than good.
Liskey said Zach Taylor's one of the best, no doubt. Top at making adjustments. Yep, they're not going anywhere. Cincinnati's for real, and they got the guy behind center to lead them too.
Right.
Jamar Chase. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Hey, key to the game. What was the key to the game, would you say? Was it the hit out of bounds to lead the field goal, or could it have been that line drive punt at the end of the game? I mean, that guy had probably a good 20 yards. He had a good 20 yards when they kicked the ball off.
Right.
I mean, look at this shit. What is this? Oh boy, what did I do? You got to hit the play button first. There we go.
A lot of faith in the rookie. Crispin's going to send it his way.
I mean, where's the hang time? Why aren't you kicking it out of bounds? You kicked it to the 18. The guy brought it all the way back to the 47-yard line.
Out there. That's Sky Moore.
Are you shitting me?
50.
That's an NFL punter?
One timeout for the Chiefs.
NFL punter right there.
Mahomes in trouble, dumps it off. Pacheco.
Oh boy!
Taking players,
and then we're going to get there. Now we're going to get to this absurd hit.
Timeout.
Now, when you look at it, this,
take your
is
time. Take the shot down.
I mean, it's pretty clear and obvious, right? Pretty clear and obvious. I mean, he's almost on the outside of the white. What a bonehead move that was.
And Osai was hurt as he hit the bench, and a flag's coming in.
How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night after doing that?
It's so hard, though, guys. Like, the dude's going full speed. It's not like he clocked him. I said I wouldn't have made the call, but I'm old school. I think it was a late hit. I do. They protect the quarterbacks. Key to the game. Did you mean key to the game in terms of like the one play that changed it, or just overall?
Like which play was worse, the punt or the hit out of bounds? You know what I mean? To be an NFL punter, right? In a key situation, I mean, there's seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
You don't kick a line drive. You don't kick a line drive punt.
No,
you know what I mean?
think that's fair. Right.
Right? Kick it out of bounds. Yeah. I think that's fair, Smitty.
Yeah, I agree with you. That late in the game, I mean, it was Neil said the redo.
The redo?
Yeah.
See, now listen, I was snoring at this point of the game. I'm not even going to lie. I was snoring. What's the redo about?
You want to take this, Smitty?
You know what? I don't know what exactly Neil, what are you referring to as far as the redo?
Well, he's referring to the they stopped them on 4th down, right?
Okay.
It was loud. You couldn't hear anything. They stopped them. The play ran through. Nobody stopped. And then the referees came in and said that there was an issue with the clock. So it gave them another opportunity to get it. And no matter what, you're talking about, some more time off the clock. That 3rd and 9 play. And that was kind of messed up. But in fairness, the replay did show that one of the officials came sprinting onto the field. But I mean that, and I don't think any of the calls really were completely egregious. I just can't stand when referees don't let them play. There was just so many calls. Some of them, as I said, were legit, but and then when that happened, it just was like, what is going on kind of deal. So the redo was a huge play. You could name any of those three. I think the punt, if I had to choose, I would take the punt, Ray, because if they had punted it out of bounds at the 25-yard line with that amount of time left, it would have made it harder. Like the hit out of bounds that kicker can kick it from 65 yards. Like it was a bonehead play, and it did help the field goal and it changed field position and stuff. But, and then the possession before when Joe Burrow had the ball, guys, like they had an opportunity to go down the field. They had bad field position, though. They were like way backed up, but you still feel comfortable. Burrow with the ball, there's minimal time on the clock, and you feel comfortable that he's going to be able to lead them down and kick a field goal. But
right.
It just, you got to give credit to that defense. That defense was all over Burrow. Those defensive tackles were all over him all game long. It didn't stop.
And you think it was the O-line, their O-line that couldn't stop their defense?
Yeah,
Cincinnati's O-line.
Right. I think that in particular the interior offensive line.
Yeah.
Those dudes struggled, and look, everybody says fix the O-line. They brought in 3 guys. Like they spent money. The guy the guard they brought in from Tampa Bay that was huge in helping Tom Brady, and they signed him to a big deal because they thought, all right, now we got a dude inside that can help. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And they have to, I hate to sound redundant, they've got to find a way to fix that in the offseason, because you can't have this kid on the ground and you can't get him hurt, because then your whole season's a mess. But it's to me, like, if you ask me, like the one thing that was the difference in the entire game, it was the interior pressure on Burrow all game long. All game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a warning. You hear that, Kev?
Yeah.
Millstone's about to catch, bro. You might want to evacuate. That's close to you, man. That's close to you. That's not really what I was going for, but it is what it is.
I should probably lock the doors, though.
So lock the doors, get all your iodine, and just take a iodine bath. You'll be all set.
Yep.
So listen, going into next week, and we have next week to talk about this game as well. Right now the lines are pretty early. I think we might see a little bit of movement. It's already been from 1.5 to 2. Now it's back down to 1.5, 49.5 points overall. It's too early to tell. Never too early to talk about it. But if you had to pick an early guess right now, Kev, who would you take?
God, this is a great question. I'd probably take the Eagles.
Okay.
I'd probably take the Eagles. If you remember the Super Bowls in the past, most of them, and maybe subtracting the Kansas City Tampa Super Bowl, but going back to like the Rams and the Patriots, everybody's really, really conservative. They don't want to make mistakes early on in the Super Bowl. I don't know what the under is going to be, but I would probably lean that way. Mm-hmm. I think that this is going to be a all-out physical battle, and the game's going to come down to which offensive line protects these quarterbacks the best. But I just think, again, Philly's been the most balanced. I think they've really been the best team all year, start to finish. and I think they'll get it done. But I think it'll be close. I think it's like going to be like a 4-point game.
Smitty, what do you got? Early.
I agree with Kev as far as the game is going to be close. But as a diehard Giants fan, I refuse to go for the Philadelphia Eagles. With that said, I'm going to go with Kansas City by 3, Patrick Mahomes. And hopefully there's no bad luck included in there.
I agree with that. Let's have it clean. Let's not have somebody like completely. Let's not have somebody drop a wide open pass and lose the game or something boneheaded. Like, let's just have a clean game where one team just makes more plays than the other. I'm with you on that.
Smitty, don't you got some kind of interest in Philadelphia stat?
You know what?
Carson Wentz?
Yes, Carson Wentz. Both of his backup quarterbacks have reached the Super Bowl. Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hey.
Pretty good.
We call that the Philly special.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the beat I was looking for earlier, but let's keep it moving, man. WBC. Little Team USA today, Smitty. Let's touch on Team USA. We touched on the Dominican Republic a little bit on Sunday.
Yeah, they were loaded.
And we realized, holy moly, this team is absolutely freaking stacked.
Yeah.
Now with the, injury to Trevor Story, looks like we went out and we grabbed Jeff McNeil. But what are your thoughts here, Smitty, on Team USA?
Team USA, and again, these are preliminary rosters. I believe the 9th, the rosters are coming out. The official rosters are coming out. And then I believe March 18th, that's when the WBC starts off. But, just a close look right now as it stands right now. We got Clayton Kershaw, Paul Goldschmidt, first base, Jeff McNeil, Trey Turner, Nolan Arenado. That's your infield right there. Kyle Tucker, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts. Great Dodger, Ray.
Whatever. We missed him in Boston, man. We miss you, Mookie. That guy can bowl a hell of a game, too. He's a bowler, man. He's a bowler. Yeah, he is.
Then you got Will Smith, Bobby Witt Jr., Pete Alonso, Polar Bear, Tim Anderson, Cedric Mullins, Kyle Schwarber. And the rotation, Nasty Nestor. Nasty Nestor Cortez is in there, which surprised me. I thought he was going to be in a Cuban team. Brady Singer, Logan Webb. The bullpen is pretty good, too. Ryan Presley, Adam Ottavino, Adam Wainwright, Daniel Bard, David Bednar, Devin Williams, Dylan Tate, Kyle Freeland, Lance Lynn, Merrill Kelly. All good. All good
Lance
pitchers.
Is he going to come out of the bullpen, or is he going to get on the mound? He could start.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He could start. Merrill Kelly, too. Did you mention his name?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Merrill Kelly, another starter for the Diamondbacks. So,
yeah.
I mean, looking at the roster, I think it's pretty good. I mean, 1 through 9, Real Motu and Smith for your two catchers. That's solid, right? You can start either or.
Yeah, it's not embarrassing.
No, I think it's contention. I think they're going to contend. Yeah. I think they contend.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are.
They're the favorite.
Yeah,
but is there any holes anywhere in this thing? Is there any weakness anywhere?
I
don't see any holes in that defense.
No, it's pretty solid, man.
If you had to compare the pitching staff, though, between the DR and the U.S.,
I'll give it to the DR by an edge. On paper,
that DR pitching staff is pretty good. I mean, just going back to it.
Hey, real quick,
that's a pretty good roster right there.
Hey, Neil said, Jeremiah Bullfrog, your team gave the kitchen sink for a coach. I think he's referring to the Denver Broncos. They fighting the Rams to see who gets a first-round pick. Jesus.
Yeah, where's he at? Where is Jeremiah at? Is he on here? Drop a message, man. If you're on,
I don't know. You might want to do a wellness check on him because he's a Broncos fan. So,
oh shit, but you know who else he's a fan of?
Who's that?
The Colorado Buffaloes, and they have Deion Sanders.
Oh, he's on. Oh, there he is. Come on, man. He said, "Come on, man."
What up,
there
kid? Oh, there he is. My man Jeremiah.
How do you feel about that move, Jeremiah? Sean Payton as your head coach.
Oh, shit. All right. Hey, we got another guest coming out. We got our guy, Jay Pick. He's going to talk some MMA. But in the meantime, let's say what's up to Jay Pick. Holla. What's up, brother?
What up, fellas? How we doing?
What's up, Jay Pick?
How you doing?
What's up, bro?
Hanging in there.
Excellent. So right now we're just touching on a little bit of WBC baseball.
Okay.
Thoughts and feelings on that? You baseball guy?
Yeah, I watch the Yankees every here and there.
Ah, man, another one. I'm outnumbered on this. How can I be outnumbered?
Well, I had a private conversation with Smitty, so I had to come on board.
Yeah. Right, it's 3-1. If Haynes was here, it'd be 4-1. Like I just lose.
We just want to keep outnumbering you. That's all.
That's all.
Listen, strength in numbers, right?
That's it.
Strength in numbers. Oh man, Smitty, what else we got for the WBC? What else we got going on here?
I mean, we're gonna keep touching on the rest of the teams that are involved. As of now, USA. Last Saturday we touched on DR.
Yep.
And we'll keep coming on with the WBC. What the Jeremiah said, I love it. We gave the house for Wilson, which to me looks a lot worse than this Peyton deal. I'll take it. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
You got no choice. You got no choice but to take it. And it's a good move. Good move for Denver. It's a good move.
I don't know how they're fixing the roster with all the picks they've given up. I just don't.
Yeah.
That's a huge hole right there. Well, I'm happy that I'm not a Broncos fan.
Me too. For once.
Me four. Hey, but go Buffalo, Colorado Buffaloes. Big things happening with Deion Sanders. That guy's already changing the culture out there. He had a great Ray, we got room on the bandwagon, don't worry. Nah, good, brother. I know where I'm at. I know I'm not going nowhere, but Deion's changing the culture. I saw a video and I wish I would have uploaded it. But basically, he is, he's laying down the law and he's letting these kids know what they can wear, what they can't wear, where to sit in class, how to act. And if you're not going to abide by his rules, he's not going to have you. So, dude, I love Deion Sanders, man. Much respect to that dude, for real.
Florida State screwed up bad because they could have had him huge. And listen, his ability to recruit, like he has. So Travis Hunter was the highest rated out of high school, the highest rated corner in the history of recruiting. And then he goes out, he steals him from Florida State. Then he leaves, goes to Colorado, takes him with him. Then he goes down to Lakeland. He takes the best player in Florida, the best corner in the country again, 2 years in a row, breaks a commitment from Miami. So he's burned Florida State, Miami 2 years in a row. So things are going to look up there.
Ain't nobody burning Deion, right? HOF, Hall of Famer. So listen, Jay Pick's on. He's on here to talk some MMA with us tonight. We have some big stuff going on this weekend. We got some Bellator. We've got some UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. And we have a local gentleman by the name of Brennan Ward who is fighting Bellator on the main card. Jeff, let's talk a little bit of MMA, my man.
All right, so Ray, you said the fans want a little MMA, so we're going to bring them some MMA. All right, that's what we're going to bring, MMA and boxing to the table. Now you're in my arena a little bit. So we're gonna start them up with some MMA alchemy with Jay Pick here, and we're gonna start bringing some live action this weekend. So we're kicking off 2023 with two big fight cards coming up this weekend. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
Inglewood, California is going to be Bellator 290, where we're going to have a nice little prelim card to check out. And then we're going to have the main card, and it's the first time that they're going to air on CBS network TV. So
nice.
That's huge for Bellator. So a lot of people will be able to check that out for free, which is nice. as opposed to paying the $79.99 or whatever it costs for UFC. So one of the prelims is going to be Neiman Gracie fighting at 170. He's 11-4, and he's going to be standing off against Dante Shiro, who's 9-4. So that'll be a good little prelim matchup to watch. Everybody's heard the name Gracie, right, fellas?
Oh yeah, Royce.
The Gracies. I mean, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in and out. They've been doing it for many years, training militaries, all sorts of stuff. So one of their own is going to be fighting in the ring for a prelim fight in Inglewood. That'll be great. And then for the main card, one of the first fights is going to be at 170. It's going to be Saba the Sleek Sheik Hamasi. He's 17-10, and he's going to be fighting Waterford's own Brennan, the Irish Bad Boy Ward. And we all know that Brennan's had his ups and downs, but right now he's coming back stronger than ever. And, he's 16-6. He's on a 3-0 win streak right now. He's sober. He's training. He's doing big things. So he's going to come out, and he's a high-level wrestler just like Saba.
Isn't just back on the list at
there
one.
You go.
Tell Lima.
They both have heavy hands, too. So I'm going to tell you guys right now.
Oh, good right hand. That hurt it.
Knockout.
For trouble. And Tommy's
in. Fight right here.
One time in too many from Sam
so,
McCoy.
Tune in for that.
And a big win via the huge right hand for Brennan
right here,
Ward.
ground and pound.
Oh, good right hand. He's stunned.
Striking, great shape.
More big left hands from Ward. That is it.
And he just finishes.
Ward sensing the finish line. Unloading with right
Check it out.
And that is it.
Oh, he's got a nut right there.
Good night.
Whoa.
John McCarthy steps
Now that
in.
dude's body, he just went stiff.
Brennan Ward stayed poised.
Yeah, you got to understand this, fellas.
Patient.
He's stepping in against the number 9 rank.
And the high volume. Obviously, what he has
Right,
is a good right hand. But a right hand puts Wilson on his back, and this one is over.
Tune in and watch that fight.
Waiting for that chance to counter strike, and Brennan Ward buries him with the left hand.
Yo, he brings it, man.
He's gonna bring it, and the other guy brings it too. So you're gonna see somebody's getting knocked out. Somebody ain't leaving the ring that day.
Hey Jay, we got a question from Neil. Is there any truth he would prefer to fight at 205? He said.
Brennan?
I believe so.
Brennan typically would fight at 185. I've never seen him fight at 205 though. No.
That's a big jump from 185 to 205, no?
Yeah, well, he's down from 185 to 170 for this.
Yeah.
So he cut a lot of weight just for this fight here.
Yeah. So
but I think for him being a power puncher, he loses significant power. The more you start going down in weight, you start losing those bombs in the hands, But also on that night, there's another fight, Eblen versus Tokov. That should be good at 185. And then the main event's going to be the send-off for Fedor Emelianenko. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's a big Russian fighter. The guy's record is 40 wins and like 6 losses, something like that. So the guy's been around for, decades.
Yeah.
And he's just a nightmare. The guy is a cold stone killer. He gets in the ring. He's got bombs for hands. I mean, if you've ever seen this guy walk out into the ring, like you just know this guy means business. He's going to be fighting Ryan Bader, who's 31-7. So between the two of them, there's 71 victories in the ring.
Yep.
So you got some big dogs coming in on the main event.
A lot of experience.
They're fighting at 265. So that's a heavyweight bout. And that's going to be the send-off for Fedor. So good luck to him. Hopefully he gets a win to walk out of the ring. And Bader's a very tough matchup. So
it looks like he's only coming in at 2.25.
Bader?
No, Emelianenko.
Yeah, he probably has to because Bader's in great shape, man. That dude's like the Energizer Bunny.
Okay.
He gets in the ring. He's big, strong, and his engine doesn't stop.
Okay.
So you gotta Bader's a beast, and
nice.
Emelianenko's gonna have to be in good shape to take him. So that's what it is. And then for UFC, we also have some good fights. That's going to be at the Apex in Vegas. And you got 2 heavyweight fights that I would say to tune into. We're going to call that the Power Alley. You got Marcin Tybura, 23-7 versus Blagoy Ivanov, 19-4. Those are just 2 meat hounds that are going to get in the ring, 265 and just throw down. They're not going to be fast. They are just going to throw haymakers, and somebody again is probably going to get knocked out.
Nice.
Jay, when is this? Jay, when is this happening again?
So
when is
February
this taking place?
4th, that's going to be this Saturday.
Okay.
And you have both the Bellator and the UFC are going to be going down,
Okay.
for this weekend. So a lot of good fights to watch. If you haven't tuned in yet this year, this is a good weekend to pick up. And I'm going to have a lot of updates for you guys, a lot of shit talk. We're going to have a lot of live results about boxing, MMA, fighter odds, all that good stuff. And, we're going to track these guys as they're on their rise to stardom. So I'll bring some guys that you never heard of, and we'll get you educated.
And what's that kid's name again? The one from Waterford, the local kid?
Yep, that's Brennan Ward, nicknamed the Irish Bad Boy. And
what's his story, Jay? How well do you know him?
So he's a kid that grew up in town. Throughout the years, he was a younger kid. I've coached him in football before, and he's had a lot of his own battles with, addiction and stuff that he's come out in the media about. But he was always like a prodigy when it came to fighting. His dad ran a fight gym. He was always a tough kid, always had a lot of energy, great wrestler. And, I'm just happy to see that he's overcome his demons.
Successful story. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm very, very happy to track him this weekend as well.
That's awesome, man. That really is. I love hearing stuff like that, man. And I live in Niantic, so that's right around the corner.
Yeah, I think he lives in Niantic now. So he's
awesome.
He lives here, and I've seen him walking around at times with his daughter and his wife, and he's doing the right things right now. So I'd like to see him have a little success.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Neil,
Jay, thanks a lot, man, for sharing all that for us.
Yep. So that's just a little peek into what we got going on, and then obviously, I look forward to working with you guys, and I thank the Hook for having me on, and Smitty, Bones, and Kev Mike. I look forward to working with you guys, and I think we'll have a lot of fun and interact with the fans.
Guys, could I just ask one quick question before he goes? I got a quick question for you.
Yep.
What do you make of John Bones Jones and his potential return? I know that it was talked about that he gained some weight. I think he was going to fight up a class, right?
Heavyweight, yeah.
He's had his own issues. Everybody knows about him, but what do you make of that return?
John Bones Jones, I think will probably still go down as one of the best fighters ever. He typically would fight at light heavyweight 205.
Right.
And I've never seen anybody that just throws knees, elbows, punches, has ground game. He's just a beast all the way around. He's been out of the game now for, I don't know exactly how long. But I know it's been years due to like stuff with contracts and out of the cage issues and all that. Yep. But I think that he's going to make an epic return. I think the guy's got the skill. He's got the proper training, the physical attributes, and he's a lot quicker than a lot of those heavyweights. So
yeah, but when I saw him, he looked huge. He looked big. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, in real good shape. Like how he was able to put that muscle on. He just looks like a defensive end.
Yeah, this guy's a beast, and I think one of his brothers is like a defensive end or something, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah, he's an animal.
Yeah, he's got
the Patriots.
Yeah, his brother. Yeah, exactly. So he's got that in his genes. But yeah, I think his return's going to be good. But who knows? I mean, he's been out of the ring for a while, so we'll see.
Thank you. So
Jay.
much, man.
Jay, what do you think about the fights? Or what are your picks as far as what from your expertise coming along? I mean, who do you got
for this weekend?
Yeah, yes, out of the ones you named off, who are you taking?
Okay. So let's see. I'm going to go with Gracie on the prelim fight for Bellator. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the hometown hero, Brennan Ward. And I will tell you that it's a very even matchup. If Sabah Hamasi wins, those guys are both beasts. So that's going to be a tough one. I mean, normally I wouldn't be able to pick that, but I'm going to go with the hometown hero, Brennan Ward. And then let's say for the main event, I don't think Fedor's got enough for Ryan Bader. I think Ryan Bader's still got enough in the tank to take him out. So I'm going to roll with the Arizona kid, Division I wrestler Ryan Bader. I think his name is Ryan Darth Bader. Is his nickname?
Nice.
And then
Bader's a minus 320 favorite, by the way.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that. Waiting for that, Ray.
He's a heavy favorite in that one.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to stick with him. But I know Fedor. Listen, Fedor is a beast too, man. Like
you've been watching this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Fedor. These guys in Russia, man, it's a little different. You guys remember Rocky back in the day when they're running through the snow and all that stuff? Like these guys are no joke.
Oh, movies are real.
Yeah, this stuff.
Oh, the movies are real. Oh, okay, all right.
Drago.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, taking it over to the Apex in Vegas. Man, the Tybura and Ivanov's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Tybura on that one.
Minus 154 favorite.
Yeah, I'll go with
Ivanov
Tybura.
plus 120.
Yep, I'll go with Tybura on that one. And then for the main event, now this main event here, Derek Lewis and Sergey Spivak. That one was put on ice from last year, so I know they were supposed to fight. Lewis backed out probably like a week before the fight or a day before the fight, something like that, and he was out. So like that was a fight I was looking forward to seeing. Derek Lewis, have you guys seen him fight? Have you seen him even enter the ring? This guy is just an entertainer. He's from Houston. He's called the Knockout King. He's probably got the most knockouts in the heavyweight division right now, or if not, he's close. I don't know, man. I think he's gonna come in there and stun Sergey Spivak. I'm just gonna go with the hometown guy. I'll say Derek Lewis. Why not?
Derek Lewis is a plus 190, by the way. Plus 190.
I'm gonna go with the underdog here. So they're both 6'2", 260, long arms, hammers for fists. Either one can knock the other one out. But guess what? I think Lewis is coming in swinging, so I'll roll with him.
You're going
Those guys are freaking huge.
They're huge.
The Black
6'2".
Beast, they call him.
Oh, yeah, they both have a 78, 79-inch reach, hammers for fists, and they just throw down. So you guys get a chance to check that one out, too.
Got to check that out.
Those are Jay picks.
Jay picks. Holla. Well, Jay Pick, appreciate you, my guy.
No problem, fellas. I'm glad to be on board with you guys, and I hope you guys can catch some of the fights this weekend.
Awesome.
All right, Jay. Have a good night, bro. Good seeing you, man.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right.
Yo, Jay Pick holding it down here on the hook. I have no idea. I'm going to take some of his advice. I might throw maybe like $10 parlay down to try to win like $1,500.
There you go.
Yeah. That means I have to pick about 13 picks. So I'm going to have to get back to him for more.
Yeah, man.
So, guys, anything before we wrap it up?
You know what? Do you guys like the Pro Bowl?
No.
NFL Pro Bowl? No.
I can't stand it.
No.
I do want to give a shout out to Tyler Huntley for making the Pro Bowl.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. He's been named to the Pro Bowl games and is replacing Josh Allen, who is unable to participate in 2 teams. Oh, man.
Haven't found anybody else?
Oh, God. That was a good one, Smitty.
Nobody else wants a free flight to Hawaii.
Hold on. Yo, you got anything to say about that, Jeff?
Yo, they couldn't give it to my boy Daniel Jones.
You got anything to say about that?
Hey,
not even
for a couple games, maybe.
Oh my God, yo, you're funny. You're funny. Yo, let's end this on something good.
Oh,
Smitty, what do you got for the week?
Listen, there's a lot of things going on. J-Pick, thank you for coming on board and educating us, because that's exactly what you was doing, schooling us when it comes to MMA. I might check that out. I mean, the way you're making this kid sound and the fights,
CBS.
I might get on board. Yeah, I might get on board, and check that out.
Definitely.
Definitely. And also, I'm looking forward. I mean, it's getting Josh Allen is playing in the Pro AM Golf Tournament, Joe Peck says. And the Knicks are playing the Lakers, so we'll see how that happens tonight. You know,
man. Hopefully LeBron brings a huge box of tissues.
Hopefully he's not on the
they're
ground
winning
like
right
last
now.
you rooting for the Knicks? You rooting for the Knicks, Ray?
I don't mind the Knicks. You want to know why? Because you already know why.
Because we're terrible. Because we're terrible.
You don't win nothing. They don't win nothing.
It's been a while.
I'm gonna get off of here and go watch the UConn Huskies, and they've been a frustrating team to watch too. But I like that college basketball, so I don't really watch too much of the NBA, but I can watch some college ball here and there.
What's up?
You
with
got Ray.
He's
got to come on when we do our March Madness stuff.
Oh, definitely. What's up with UConn, Jeff?
I don't know, man. Like UConn, they look like the best team in the land for probably the first 15 games, and then I don't know what happened in the locker room, but they came out and they just started losing.
I'll tell you right now.
I think they're inconsistent right now.
I'll tell you right now what the problem is. They don't have a true point guard.
Right.
That's the problem.
And
they have size. Yeah. They cannot get the ball up the court, and they need a facilitator. Go to the transfer portal like everybody else does.
Yeah, they thought Newton was going to get it done, but he's doing okay, and I'm just hoping they get to like the second or third round of the tournament. They don't get ousted like last year in the first round. So, we'll see what happens with them too.
Hey, they're up 13 right now at the half at the Paul. I mean, but who were they just up against last week and they ended up choking? I don't think Hurley coached that game. Was it? Who was it? They were up.
I should know this, and I don't.
They were up halftime. It might have been who they play in the NCAA final in the championship a few years ago. Butler. Was it the Butler game?
No,
Creighton. Neil said Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, yeah.
It was Seton Hall. That's it.
You're right.
Damn it.
Yeah. Thanks, Neil.
They lost to them. They lost to St. John's. I know Marquette, Providence, all the other top teams. They've been just, I'm hoping they turn it around now. They win a couple straight.
They need to.
Hey, J-Pick, did you touch on the Tyron Woodley?
No.
He said on failed KSI.
I thought he was retired, Smitty.
He said on failed KSI fight, never in my life have I been disrespected like this. I don't know exactly what that article is about. I guess I'm going to have to read it now.
Yeah, let me know. I know he had that fight with Jake Paul and all that stuff. And, I don't know what – he made some pretty good money on that one. So he'll probably be back for more at some point. But
gotcha.
I think he's close to done as well. So
is he?
Yeah. I mean, once Jake knocked him out –
that was it.
I thought that was the end of it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, once you get knocked out by Jake Paul, that's pretty much the end of your career.
Yeah, you got to just hang it up at that point.
You pretty much hit the bottom with that one.
That's right.
So, Kev, what do you got, bro?
I'm just waiting to get to the Super Bowl this weekend, Saturday night. Carolina Duke, if anyone's interested.
Oh yeah,
Carolina Duke. That's always a good game.
It'll live up to the billing. We'll see what happens. Outside of college basketball, we just gotta wait to the Super Bowl. I will check out those fights though. I love that stuff, man. I'm definitely gonna check those out.
Good, yeah. We'll definitely talk. We'll recap after those fights this weekend. So awesome. It'll be good.
AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am this weekend. Jordan Spieth, Victor Hovland, Fitzpatrick, McNeely, Rose, Power, Putnam, Kuchar, Nick Taylor, just a few of the headliners playing in that. So I'm probably going to watch a little bit of golf during the day. And then I'm going to have to tune in to CBS and watch some Bellator and watch the local guy, Brennan Ward, hopefully whoop some ass.
That's right.
Pick, what's your weekend to get away to? Your same thing?
Yeah, I'm just going to be doing stuff with the family and then, watching the fights. I'll probably catch hopefully a little of the UConn game tonight. Awesome. I don't know if they play again this weekend, and then I'll be just watching those fights. Huh?
They got Georgetown.
So I'll probably catch that and then just watch the fights, man. Those fights are on late. I don't know if you guys have stayed up for a card, but they start at like Saturday. 6, 7 o'clock. And they do not stop until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So just be ready. It's like a slumber party watching those things, man.
Cuddle up.
Yeah.
Saturday, 12 o'clock, UConn, Georgetown in DC, right? In DC.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, Smitty, Saturday. Me and Smitty going to jump on Saturday morning. We'll see you guys Tuesday night, Saturday morning, Tuesday night. Oh shoot, Kev, I almost did it to you, bro. I'm not gonna do it to you. I almost hit the wrong video. Hey, have a good night, guys.